Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you might be. And this is August the 26th or 7th, Monday, end of the month, beginning of fall almost. We got another month until the 23rd. Well, actually, less than a month. And so I greet you with love and blessings and honor and compassion to all beings. Um, this is an interesting little update kind of thing going on. I was scheduled to do a video on the Schumann residence, and I've had a little bit of difficulty getting the screenshots. But I just want you to know that if you go out there and check the Schumann residence over the last 5 or 6 days, we've had some really interesting spikes. And also the fact that we're also being hit by some fairly serious um, solar winds and also cosmic energies coming in. That's one of the reasons why the Schumann resonance is vibrating so high in and through Mother Earth. Now, also, this is a continued heads up. There are some very large earthquakes going on, and people are looking at it, but I don't believe they're looking at the large picture. If you look at the last 2 weeks, oh, holy mackerel. I mean, there was like 49 earthquakes in one particular area in one day. And they're sizable. It's not that they're just small quakes, but there's a lot of stuff going on. In the galaxy, there are a lot of things going on. And so the title of this video is Being a Candle in the Window for Lost Spirits. Now, why would I think that? Why would I speak that? Okay, hi. I'm David Null, aka Hawkeye Two Feathers. And I just want to say that, well, in the olden days, before there were light bulbs, electricity and so even when electricity came in, the verbiage was continued. And it had to do with, if you're late coming home on horseback or in a wagon from town or whatever, that they would keep a light on for you because there were no traffic lights. And if you go into some rural areas now, I mean, there are a lot of security lights and things like that now going on. But to the point, though, in the olden days, so they would put a candle, because they didn't have electricity, they would put a candle in the window. So for centuries, millennium, 3, 4, 5,000 years, anytime they ever figured out how to make, a light with a candle or oil lamps with, they used a lot of fat in the old days, from chickens to you name it. Okay, but anyway. And how many of us would know how, if we ran out of electricity for whatever reason, would know how to make their own candles or whatever, oil lamps, so forth. I digress. So, Milky Way, I see you there. Hi, my friend. I bid you well-being and how are you, etc. I know you got a show later on this evening, and I'm hoping I'm around to be able to jump in there in the chat room and say howdy with everybody. So, but anyway, so blessings due, my friend. But in my meditation and things, I have a, I don't know, I'll do a quick, I have a lot of windows on the south side of my house. It's getting dark out yonder, so there's not much sunlight, etc. But anyway, so I'm looking out the window a lot. And now that fall is coming in, the sun is also moving into where this is a passive solar house that I live in. Hi, Gary. Love you, my brother. Right back at you. And so looking out my back door, if you will, from the old song from Three Dog Night. I think it was a Three Dog Night. Anyway, yeah, no, wrong group. Anyway, y'all got me sidetracked. But anyway, so I'm thinking about that, and old memories, as I've been discussing here recently, seem to be like running through my brain. I mean, just stuff. And nothing in any particular order or vein or anything. It's just old memories and taken as snapshots. And so I get a picture and it comes up and I go, ooh, look at that. Ooh, look at that. And I remember Granny saying something way back in the day, back when because I was born in 52. So I grew up through that age. And if you're younger than that and you didn't grow up during the 50s and early 60s, then you can only dream about it, because even by 63, things had changed so much differently from the 50s, from what I remember. It's like, oh my goodness. Well, we got color television and all the kind of, anyway, the technology increased like ooh, big time. But I mean, it wasn't like in the 50s we didn't have street lights, or, folks had electricity, but we had huge cars that, different time. So, but I'm looking back through, and these memories are flipping through my brain, and I'm looking at them going, ooh, that's interesting. And the light in the window. And so it came to me as a light in the window to me. Hey, yo, Dave, right now, there are a lot of lost spirits out there. Now, I could use the word soul, but I'm trying to stay away from that. But to the point of it being spirits. And so for those of us out here who are light workers, one could say that, well, why do you consider yourself a light worker? Well, I don't know. I'm looking for the light. I'm looking towards the light. I'm looking for enlightenment. There are a lot of terminologies to use with the word light. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, that's interesting. Well, right now, there are a lot of dark places, and we would all agree on that stuff, right? I mean, John McCain died the other day, and then the following day, there was a shooting in Jacksonville, and just there's some weird stuff going on. And there's some numbers in there coded, if you will, into the mega ritual, if you would believe that, it's a difficult subject to discuss, but there is a lot of truth to what the other people are using numbers for against the planet. I mean, it's against all of us, not just a few, but the whole planet. And they use numbers and dates and names with certain number designations. They have a lot of stuff planned out ahead of time. Watch for the number 17, then the number 71, as in for the jersey on the shooter was number 17. And the guy he was standing next to had the number 71, which is the reverse. They love to do the switch swatch thingy. So the shooter guy in Jacksonville, now I'm not going into this, but right there, when you see the picture of the two of them, and the younger kid is holding up a jersey and with number 17, that's a coded number. And 71 is the reverse of that. So it's like, whoa, right there, dead in your face, strange as it might seem. So the mega ritual is going on right now. And so there are so many soul spirits who have to look at these things that are planned by the mega ritual. Okay. And so it's so big that most folks just, I mean, you think about now the Illuminati, the Cabal. Okay, name your poison. But if you think about it, I mean, I think of the Catholic Church and the Vatican, and what's going on with the Pope right now, and the types of things that I've been discussing, the pedophilia that went on in Tampa, that are on with me, and other people that I know of in Tampa. Nobody ever said a word about the pedo priest in Tampa or St. Pete or down there in Florida. I've never heard a word out of that. So after 50 years almost, of this going on in my life. Okay, anyway. But to the point though, so who are the power brokers? Well, the Vatican, obviously. And it's very possible, and spirits have said, wise men have, there were priests back in the day. I can't remember the guy's name, but I mean like 800 years ago, in the Catholic Church made prophecies that this would be the last pope. A lot of anger about, the Pope covering things up. You know the drill. But if you look at the dates that some of these things are happening, it's part of a mega ritual, planet-wide. Call them what you want, whoever's trying to control this. But they set these things in motion, and they set them in motion for a particular reason. Now, that's the most important part. It's like, well, who's going to be affected? That's not really the important part. It's the fact that they're using this time, the dates, They're using names, gematria, wherever you want to go with this. They're using astrological things, astrological. Yes, right, exactly. And so they're using high vibrations and energies. Well, then there are those of us who are looking away from that. So they have lost us. And because we're now no part, well, we get slipped in and out of the darkness once in a while into some gray areas. Okay, you got to use your cell phone, blah, blah, blah. I'm using my computer. Okay, gray area, gray area. But we try to use our tools and the knowledge that we've learned to not be swayed by what they're doing to us. I understand I need to shut my computer off ahead of time so I can get decent sleep. I need to change my light bulbs to softer light bulbs. All these things that I can do because of the knowledge that we have attained, because of all of us and spreading this knowledge. So we now have come out of the darkness, and some of us might be in little grayer areas. Do you understand what I mean? But we're still a light bulb, a candle in the window. And I don't mean a candle in the wind, sort of, but not quite, because we're not in the wind. My candle's in the window in the house, and it burns brightly and will shine and can be seen from a long distance, especially if I put it in an upstairs window. And you say, well, now, Dave, this is a bunch of theoretical, hypothetical. But now, if you listen to me when I discussed about astral projection, a lot of this is focal point. And a good way to focus is by lighting a candle, clearing the noise, shutting everything down, as many things as you can unplug them, and go to a quiet place and light a candle. One of the simplest, easiest way to focus, meditate, and it's great. I advise it. And the meditation that you can get with a simple candle is absolutely amazing. Okay, so with that said, you can light a candle with intention, and that candle is your own spirit, your own soul, your words, your actions. Doing a YouTube video out of nowhere like I'm doing right now, it's like, I love you all and anyone who watches this. And it's that anyone who will pay attention to this understanding, and yes, it's a visualization, but the visualization is what helps us 3D human beings in here. And the other thing is that if we don't require visualization of things right now, other people may. And so it should be our intent now. Okay, we've reached a certain amount of understanding between us, amongst us, myself, you, whoever, because you're here now. Okay. And so you're searching, looking, or otherwise have seen some of this light yourself. As you see it, you will become the light. You will become the candle in the window. And as I see this, I get my little message from up above, the crazy Dave here. But the message is very simple. Become the candle in the window. And yes, it means frequency and vibration and all that kind of good stuff, okay? And I'm not trying to shove that to the side. However, to break it down into a basic human thing, okay? Meaning, let's go back to the old days. You sitting around the campfire watching the stars. Everybody that was anybody in the old days knew what the stars were, how they moved, how they traveled. And oh my goodness, Rainbow Phoenix, hello you, my sister, and much love, etc. Prayers. I noticed why we should get together sometime, possibly. Hey. All right. This was spur of the moment, and I know other people have a show going on tonight, and I was trying to get in between 8 and 9, slip a little in here because I've been kind of quiet lately. But the quietness has to do with understanding what these frequencies are and vibrations. And it's like, yeah, I can turn this thing on and start a stream and have a conversation. But it's like, I just felt like I was going to be overhashing some things. And then it dawned on me in my own meditation, show me what I need to speak on, is that, we can go beyond um, explanation, frequencies, and oh, and look at all these energies coming at us, and we can do, yeah, okay, well, what's a simple way to, like, okay, now that we know these things exist, how do we focus ourselves and become more of a light? Well, the basic thing that is in, for ever since man was on this planet or longer, has been lighting a fire of some kind, a candle, an oil lamp, whatever, at least on this planet. And so it's significant. So if we become a candle, as like is said in the Bible, you if you're a candle, put you put the candle on top of the bushel basket and not the bushel basket on top of the candle. You must put it up so all the light can see. And so in this high tech world, my instructions are help people see a very simple, go back to basic approach to just being calm. And with that calmness, because of all these energies coming in right now, if we can focus on a simple candle and its flame with simple, I just wish to be in harmony with the universe, nothing special. Just say, I wish to be, I wish the energies to help. I send out love and prayer and, compassion, but just keep it simple. Now, you may have an intent for the meditation. That's a separate issue. But in this particular instance, just to receive these energies, just to allow these energies to heal us without without personal interference, I'm being told. And what I mean by that is that we will resist, because we're human, of these changes that are coming through to us. I mean, I had to shut up for several days and allow the healing, which meant sleep. I mean, it's Monday. I don't know where Sunday went. I mean, here we go again, another Sunday lost or something. Okay. But to the point, though, there is a difference today with however much sleep I needed yesterday, whatever the downloads were, whatever the healing is going on within my body, because I'm off even less pain medications than I was before. So in my personal life, it's like, man, I'm down to like 2 aspirin a day, where I was taking like 27 pills every day. I mean, it's like drastically changed. And that's healing from the cosmos, period. That's all there is. But I felt in my own self, because this is new and new to me, it's new to humanity who have going through this or have been going through this, to understand what the hell is going on with us. Why am I feeling up, down, up, down? Well, if you look at the Schumann resonance and tell that here in this last 5 days, we've been getting some serious spikes. And then it's like really heavy spikes, and then a lull for like 12 hours, 14 hours, and then bam, right back again. And I've been taking pictures. So if I can get this thing to share, I'm going to do a show just on the last week of what the Schumann residences look like, just to give you an idea. But to the point, if you'll trust me, you can go out there and check on me, but it's there, all right? So cause and effect is where I'm headed with this. So, but now by what do I mean? To go back to the candle in the window. Our friends and our family who are confused right now are being bombarded with a lot of truth coming from a lot of places, okay? Vatican, all the different things. I mean, it's been almost 2 years and they're still with the Trump thing and the Russia gate. I mean, how can we get on with things? People being indicted, pedophiles, and the pedo group being exposed all over the place, and the Weinsteins and the Hollywood and all these other things are being outed. And so that normal folk are getting gobsmacked, and they need us folk to speak in a level-headed way and say, I know you thought I was crazy, and yeah, I know I am, but you know what? some of this crazy talk is true. And that's what's made me crazy, because I could see it. Others like me could see it. But you, on the other hand, and folks like you, not pointing fingers, but you couldn't understand this because it was beyond a comprehension level. And for those of us, and I mean, I got woke up in the late 60s, early 70s with the pedo priest. So when people try to jack me around about, oh, that doesn't really happen, I'm sorry. I'm a personal witness to this crap. Okay. And I've spoken to other people who have gone through this personal crap with priests and so forth. And okay. So to have called me a liar all these years, and I've over exaggerated, and well, you must have been high. Well, yeah, I must have been high on something, allowed folk to do what they did to me. Another subject, this ain't it. But my point is that even after all of that, I'm still searching for forgiveness. I've forgiven myself, but there is still a tinge of being ashamed that I allowed it to happen. But when you're a young kid and you have no experience, and you've been, the MK Ultra type thing with the church all your life, and it's when I look back at it, I go, holy crap, did they have control of this one? Meaning me. And so I broke the control, and I have hollered, screamed, jumped up and down over the years. Why don't you people listen to me? This really happened. And forget about me. What about the other people who still remain nameless, who are affected by these things, And so to me, I want to be a candle in the window. I wish to be a candle in the window. I will be, the best of my ability, a candle in the window for any spirit, any soul out there that has been lost in this darkness. Now, and I don't mean just in the pedo area or priest or whatever, but in the darkness of the lie, the huge lie, the mega ritual. Putin. Why are they still trying to get rid of Putin? When's the last time Putin or Russia's done anything? I mean, the U.S. is still bombing people come on, hang on. When was the USR a threat to us ever? There are twice as many people in the United States, and not counting Mexican illegals and other immigrants and so forth, but just the population. We're twice as many of us than them. We own 10 times more guns than Russia. So all this fear, all these lies, all these things that have been projected upon us, as these changes are being brought up to other people, remember, when you are enlightened, that's one thing. But then to be able to take the light that you have found and mirror it, shine it, amplify it, whatever you can do, is what's going to be necessary here in this, especially the last of this year, because we still got some big things that are rattling on the sidelines. And I'll get more update tomorrow and the next day. But my cage has been rattled enough to say that there are some really big changes in the works, and that there were certain things that have already taken place that just look at the news and you can tell, well, this person got indicted. Well, that one's out of market. Somebody's not, whatever the issue. Okay. So there is progress. And with the midterm elections coming up, there is going to be some deep doo-doo become sloshed out in front of the regular public. Why? Because it's necessary. And because these folks need to be shown out. And they're going to be looking for alternatives, because the truth is going to be so mind smacking that they're going to need a patient person to speak to about it. So if you're a candle in the wind, you're going to get blowed out. So in the old days, they had reflectors that went around. In Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts way back in the day, you'd cut a tin can in half, cut the ends off both sides, and it was tin back then, by the way. But anyway, and you folded it open and you put the candle in, it reflects a whole lot more light. Oh my goodness, what an old tin can will do, right? With a candle. It also helps to keep the candle from blowing out. Okay. I mean, all these things. And if you have the right size candle and holes poked on top, you can cook on that candle. Amazing, right? So many things with one candle, with the flame, the multiplicity of it, the chemical reaction, all these little physics things that are in there. I mean, and if you're just focusing on that candle, then you can hear the healing of the universe coming through right now. It's a strange kind of event. We have been discussing this, myself, many of us, uh, all y'all here in the live chat here. And I got my glasses off because if I stop to read, I'll get off my topic. So y'all, I love you all. Just hang in there a second. But so the Mother Mary message, if you will, was we need to continue our kindness and compassion because things are just it's the chaos is ringing so loudly to so many people. They have no idea where to turn. And are we correct? Well, we've understood these things before they did. Now, does that make us better than them? No. Because that's going to be the hard pill. Listen to me and listen good, please. This is going to be a hard pill for light workers to swallow. And it's going to be that, I mean, I've been at this journey all my life. I'll be 66 next month. And mental plug for my birthday. Ha, ha, ha. I'm kidding. I'm teasing. I keep bringing it up. But it is a milestone, not the birthday, but the fact I'll be 66. I never thought I'd live this long. So the fact that I'm here is like, okay. But to my point, though, that doesn't make me better than anyone. No one. And that's going to be a hard pill to swallow. Because folks will go, well, I knew about this for the last 10 years. Oh, shut up. Okay. The contest is over. The contest is over. You know what you know because you had a soul contract. You understand. You saw the lies. You figured it out before they did. But in that whole journey of what you have learned up to this moment must be turned into even a deeper love and compassion. Because I hate to use this. It's coming in like this, but okay, I'm going to repeat it. All right. I'm getting an internal, external message right now to do this. But it is that they are as children only because of how they have been taught. They are human beings, number one. Okay. Every person, every being, everything. We are all connected. That's got to start there. So even though they might have said, they really do believe airplanes brought two big towers down and the building 7 fell on its own because of a fire, they got a lot of work. That doesn't make any of us better than them. We are more aware. And by our awareness alone, we should have 10 times more compassion for them because they have been led astray. Now, there are people who have immersed themselves in being that way. I mean, there are people who volunteer to be trolls. I mean, the list goes on. I've been in positions when I saw something that just wasn't right, I spoke up. That's why I'm a poor man living in the woods right now. But to the point, I stood up for my principles first. Even though it meant losing a $39,000 a year job, I left it because I had principle. I could not work for this organization any longer, understanding and doing what they did. Out of there. That's a tough one. We're in a situation where now that if this does come true with the galactics and the new system and the new currency, how are we going to deal And I think I'm gonna do a separate video on this about the monetary change, because I'm getting instructions saying we need to understand this. Now, I'm a poor man, so I don't have very much, but I understand barter. And a lot of people go, yeah, barter, blah, 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 blah. Well, hang on. I look at the things in my life and so forth and go, I don't have much money, but I got a crap load of tools. Okay. Different kinds of tools. Because I was a machinist and a carpenter, okay, a woodworker. One of these days I'm gonna get my shop done. But to the point, I invested rather than in stocks and bonds and so forth, I invested in tools because they're still there. I still have them. I can use them at any time. If I need to sell one of the drill presses I have for a little extra cash, okay. Or maybe I can barter with somebody, whatever the deal. But to the point, though, I realized that in my own insanity of, collecting tools of all kinds, young and old, that that was like silver, because you can't eat silver, you can't eat gold. And when you get right down to it, what's going to become more important? A hoe, a shovel, a wrench to fix whatever, a pair of, a good pair of, tools. If you need to make something, I have drill presses. Okay, they can be converted in different ways. But the fact that I have a drill press and can drill something with it, how I make the motor turn is in various different ways. Okay, so to the point. With my tools, I feel I have my savings, my security, for whatever reason. Now, if this does change the monetary system, and there's going to be a big thing in the next few days about Litecoin, Bitcoin, blah, 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 and Saxman Gold is coming out with a Bitcoin kind of deal. The blockchain. Do you know the blockchain came up in a 19 late 90s episode of the Stargate? Holy crap, I couldn't believe it. They used the word blockchain in their computer. Anyway, interesting. I should have highlighted which one that was, but anyway, and it was just in a science reference, but they used the words blockchain specifically. It was in the latter years, by the way. It was in the last 3 or 4 seasons of Stargate. Anyway, as a memory. But so how are we going to look at this barter system? Now, the RV, when the Vatican gets taken down and our money that's been cheated from us because our names are on the stock market, birth certificates, all of that, the collateral account, that money is supposed to be coming back to us and away from them. Now, what if we all have $100,000? And I'm going to be really, really low on the number. Okay. But what if we all just one day had $100,000 in our bank account, and that every 6 months, another $100,000 was going to be deposited from our collateral account to our personal account for us to use as we see fit? Now, they claim that we should get more than that. That's not my point. Let's just start at 100 grand. What if you had 100K all of a sudden, and they said, they've been stealing this money, and there's a lot of evidence to support the fact that they have been stealing our names, our fortunes, they've been making money off of us. They have life insurance policies against us. It's weird. It's strange. But here's the thing. Are you going to be able to tell your brother or sister or husband or wife or your neighbor or whoever they've really been doing this? I can't believe it. The disbelief is going to be so important. It's going to knock us down, because we're going to go, whoa, that sigh of what the F from the other people who don't get it will blow the candle out. So I'm being suggested to tell folk, it's not a protection, if you will, but that with this energy, it might tend to want to blow your candle out, even if it's just temporarily, but to the point. So it's like putting a globe over a kerosene lantern. It burns really crappy until you put the globe on, and then it breathes and sheds light. Wonderful. That's the important part. So what we need is to be able to maintain our light. That's number one. And so sometimes we have to shut up. And that's what I've been told these last couple of weeks. You need to be quiet, Dave, so you can hear what's coming in, so you can hear the healing. And I mean, I'm telling you, I'm down to 2 aspirin a day, 3 on a bad day. At 325 milligrams, I mean, I used to take that at one time times 4. I mean, unbelievable. So I know there's healing going on. I can feel it. I can taste it. It's there. Earlier this afternoon, there was like this weird phase shift that went on, and the green wasn't green anymore. I was like, whoa, it's never going to show up on camera. But I saw a phase shift today, this afternoon. I don't know, 4 hours ago. It was about 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Daylight, excuse me. And so I'm like, the green turned dark. I mean, it was like looking out my window and across over there. It wasn't yellow. It was like somebody had went past it and scorched the top of it. And I went, wow, we've got some heavy duty sunlight coming through here. Well, but just before dark 30, I was outside feeding chickens, checking the garden, yada, yada. And I was like, the colors are back. So today, at least in my world, and I'm like, I was trying not to notice, and because weird things been happening. But when I saw the colors change, and I thought, well, but the clouds hasn't changed, the overcast hasn't changed, the sun could be wobbling, and we're getting weird energy. But to see the color of, I mean, everything green, which is a lot out my window, mostly, it's green this time of year, had turned brown. And back to green again by sundown. So it's like, So, but when we understand these things, we can protect our candle. We can protect our light. Is that the protection we say before we go into astral projection? Well, let me say something. There are a lot of folks here lately that want to get into astral projection. And I've spoke about it. I will again, but to the point, my point is you must be careful. Whether it's whatever, you must be careful. Simply because you are allowing your soul to be exposed. You're allowing your spirit energy to be seen in perfect harmony, whatever, but by these other beings who are used to seeing astral bodies. So when they see somebody new in the neighborhood, it's like, so just make sure you do go through a little bit of meditation. And, I'm always connected. You do an affirmation and you must believe that you are still attached and everything's cool and you got your stuff together. But I have been warned that because of this chaos right now, with all these changes, all the planets on one side, all the energies coming through, that these other worldly spirits are they're getting run off the earth. Okay. The energy is messing with them so bad, but they're looking for an anchor. Okay. So right now, it might be that if you're new to astral projection, it might be that you just learn the basics and you practice, telling time without the clock and you do other things. But keep it on the down low for a little while. They're saying by the the fall equinox, which is the 23rd of September, day before my birthday. I was born on the cusp. What can I say? So I'm one day into being a Libra with a lot of crap load of Virgo tendencies. So live with that one, Libras. I do tend to be more Libra than Virgo, though. However, I've had my moments. But that with the equinox, there are going to be celestial changes. I mean, we've already coming out of Mercury and Mars retrograde, so that's going to be good right there. So there's a positive swing to this. However, there's still a lot of this crappy energy going on. Now, Mars and Mercury being out of retrograde is helping the entire situation. Okay. So, but still, Mars and Mercury are still Mercury and Mars. Okay, so what they do, and when they're in our skies, and the fact that Mars is at one of its closest approaches right now to the Earth. So strong connections going on there. Mars, okay, God of War. So there's part of this chaos. However, now that we're out of the retrograde series and moving forward now, things are going to be in still on the down low. That's why the god of war, Mars, is one of the reasons to stay out of the astral conflict. So if you're new to this, stick to the basics. Don't try to go to, Venus right away. Just stay calm. Doesn't mean don't do it. Just stay calm. Stay in your house, as my previous video stated. Stay where you're comfortable. Stay in a comfort zone. That is a huge amount of protection in itself. Why? Because these entities are trying to grab onto and do as much destruction as they can on their way out. This new energy is driving them bat crap cray cray, folks. Okay. So with that understanding, then why would you? I mean, if you know there are piranha in the river, but they're going with the flood to the ocean, do you want to cross now or wait a day? Wait till the floodwaters go down and you can hop across the rocks. I mean, so there's practicality in this. Doesn't mean that you can't fish or that you can't go to the river, meaning the astral plane or you practice or whatever. But it means that should you cross the river now when it's shark infested or piranhas or take your pick or both. And so that maybe you should just wait a couple of days or, like I say, in a month when the equinox happens. Things are celestially always happen in the fall. Lots of stuff. And we're closer to the midterms. The chaos is going to increase. Labor Day weekend's coming up, and be careful but have fun. Watch out for the piranha in the river, by the way. So what does all this matter? And I'm going to wrap this up because there are other folks coming on at 9 and 10, so I'm going to quit this one. Let me put my glasses on first and read what I love you all. I do. So protect your candle. Don't be a candle in the window. Hi, Rainbow, Gary Baxter, Rainbow Phoenix, Melanie Weisler. Hello, Melanie. I do white willow instead of aspirin. I haven't been able to find any white willow down here. And I don't know if I'd want to use it or not because of all the chemicals and so forth they've done and keeping it simple. Yep. You're going tonight at 11, Rainbow. Okay. I'll try to be on and around this evening. Hey, Kade Wallander, I love you. Bless you too. Blessings to everyone. But so, with all this rhetoric and everything, I get these little things like, okay, watch this. And it's like, all right. But, I was a technical advisor and I did 3D CAD and all kinds of stuff. So I have a tendency to go past where other people give up, because I want to know some more. And it's been a curse at times. But at the same time, if I didn't delve into this a little bit more, well, wait a minute. Okay, I could accept, candle in the window and be done with it. Wait, hang on. But there's more to it. Yeah. It's just a candle. No, it isn't. It's more meaningful than that. It's a centuries and millennial. Caveman, long time we've been putting candles in the window for enlightenment. And so one of the things I also like to bring up is that in the last few chapters of the Bible, and I can't remember the verse or the chapter, but it's towards the end, the last 3 or 4 chapters. It's that when Jesus comes back, when the Savior, when the Messiah, whatever, when he comes back, in the King James Version, it says he's going to bring a light. In the old Bible, what it says is that Jesus, the Messiah, the messenger, however you want to look at it, is going to bring enlightenment. If you look around you, the Christ consciousness is here. Now, does he need to take a physical form? I would submit if somebody stood out of the crowd anywhere right now and said, I'm he, no one would believe them. No one would believe them. Even if I was the guy, if I said, you know what, I got a spiritual message, I'm no way. I don't care who it would be. If they stepped foot on this planet and stepped up and said, I'm the guy, even if he came in on a cloud, folks are going, it's a fake cloud. Well, it's ET. Who's going to believe it? Whom? Whom? I would, first thing I'd do is go, yeah, sure. But do I believe that the Christ consciousness is upon this earth right now? Oh, yeah. Does it need a person? No, because it's in each of us. So is Jesus on the earth right now? Metaphorically speaking, yeah, absolutely. I mean, even to the church, when the Pope went to Ireland, they're like, get this guy out. We don't want him anymore. I mean, Ireland, Catholics, but Ireland also has a long tradition of, well, the Catholic Church calls it pagan. What it is it's an old traditions of Mother Earth, the Celts, the Mandelas, the circles, the old traditions, earth energies. Oh, they're pagan. Yeah, well, when you really look at what the Catholic Church does, that ain't real nice. But I'm not going there. To the point, though, where now we are all seeing it. The Pope's up for, they wanted to arrest him while he was in Ireland. Arrest him, okay? Not just ask for his right. They were trying to arrest the dude, okay? And so it's like rides around the Pope Mobile. I would too, but no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't go near the Pope Mobile. But if I were him, I'd ride in the Pope Mobile. So his popularity is like zero. And Catholics are coming out of the woodworks. I mean, there are other folk too, but to the point, though, this is proof that this is happening. Now, to what Lionel of Lionel Nation says, it's not about your faith. It's not about being Catholic, really, but I contend it is if you follow that paganistic turning, drinking wine and the body of Christ. That's just sick, and that needs to stop. Prayer, open prayer, everybody, sure, absolutely. Can we have, readings from the old Bible before they changed it in 1964? I mean, let's be serious about this. Let's tell the truth. Does anybody in the Catholic Church know how many times they changed the Bible since 1964? But they're told by this fake Pope to rely on the new version as the Word of God when it says right in the last verse of Revelations, any man who changes the word of the Lord God is subject to on the what? Okay. So we've been led to a blasphemy. Now, does that mean all the Bible's bad? No. Does it mean we have to do all things in Revelation have to take place before Revelations is complete? I say we're already there because the last step was the church, the Antichrist. And when you look into who the Antichrist is, it is the Pope. So we've got one that's resigned and the one that's running around now who's a Jesuit. Even the Jesuits want him out now, which is like, the Jesuits were the Gestapo of the Catholics. So now all this is taking place right now before our eyes. When we see it, when we understand it, we need to be kind to others who are coming on board. Let them scream and holler at you, because you got to understand where their anger's coming from. And I'm going to get a little verbal here for a second. They're going to go, you son of a shit, you suck, you got, and they're going to cuss you, and then they're going to realize that they're cussing because you were right. They're cussing because you didn't try hard enough to convince them. Their anger is going to be misdirected, misplaced. You're the person who's going to take the anger of all of the collective. through the people that you interact with. So it's important in this respect that you continue to be Christ-like. Stay in that light. Put a candle in the window, if you will. Make sure that your candle stays lit. Take protection for your candle, because it there when the more I look, I mean, you've heard me talking just as in the last 6 months or so about how I just at the first of the year I was like, this shit ain't gonna happen, and it just ain't gonna work. I don't see enough lights in the window, and now I look out in the broad scheme of things to the world, and I see candles in the windows of more people now. And it's just like, okay, it's a crazy little symbology. Okay, it's a candle and it's a window, but it's the window into the future. It's the window of the past, and it's also showing us the present. In any window is a 3-day. It's future because of what you could see into that window, or with your imagination, your meditation, whatever, you can go into the past, you can study the records, and it's like, so this is a big deal. Yes, it's simple terminology, but in its simplicity, it is so vast, it's universal. I mean, because even Spock in Star Trek burned the candle for meditation. I mean, come on. So it's symbology in itself. But when you put your intent, when you light the candle. Now, I did learn this in Catholic Church, but it was Mother Mary, because I was lighting the candles in front of the statue, my favorite statue of Mother Mary, when I would have prayers with her. It was that I was lighting that candle, and my prayers and my intent when I lit that candle. And I didn't know you were supposed to put a quarter in the box, but anyway, I got chastised for that by a priest. You didn't put money in there. Well, you got to put money in the box to light the candle? Oh, yeah. But yeah, that could make a good $50 on a good candle stand. I mean, I'm just saying. Oh, they'd be, yeah. All right. These candles ain't free. No, I know. But anyway. So, but with the intent of that in my prayers, I understood back when I was a teenager, okay, 50 years ago, that my intent when I lit the candle with my prayer to Mother Mary, not like it's in the Bible. It's my relationship with the Mother Mary thing is I understood her as the mother of earth, and still do. Now, she's like the protectorate mother, the goddess, which, everybody, oh, you use the goddess word. Okay, fine. That's why I stick with Mother Mary, because it's very simple, very basic. So what she has shown me and continues to show me is that even in this extra time of chaos, because midterms are coming up, that's just part of the bundle. But this is going to fuel other things, along with the energies, along with the solar. We're under a solar attack right now from the sun, as well as the cosmic rays. So right now we're in a triple whammy going on right this minute. So keep your heads. Make sure the solar wind doesn't blow out your candle. All right. Understand that this is. They're hammering me right now with this patience. We must be so much more patient right now with trolls, and I mean trolls just in general, folk, just that we really need to not let it affect us. As I've spoken before, we need to at least put our little gear shift box into neutral. Doesn't have to be in park. You can back up if you want, or you can go forward. I choose going forward, but it's like first, second, or third. Okay. But to the point though, if it's so crazy and it's raining outside and you can't see the road, you shouldn't go anywhere. So look at the chaos as a really bad thunderstorm and understand that sometimes it's best just to pull over for a moment and observe the rain. And then when it lightens up and you can see the lanes again, get back into traffic, yada, yada. That's where we're at. So be patient. We are in a thunderstorm of energy. Kade Walder, it's not 144,000, by the way. They've added 3 zeros. They lied to us when they said we only needed 140,000, 144,000. I understand that's what it says in the Bible, but per capita of people, it had to be 144 million of us. But there's 7.5 billion, so it's still not a stretch. But to the point, they had to, the 144,000, they couldn't think millions back then. So, but in our day and age, the lie that I have understood for a while is 144,000 is bullshit. Why? Because 144,000 people can have an effect. Don't get me wrong. 3 people together with a good intent can change the world. But to the point, though, we, per capita of people on the planet, we needed 144 million. So they had to convince us, and this is a little bit of shade tree, mechanics back in the background, is that the 144,000, if they were to have told us back when, 5 years ago, easily. Thank you, Raybo. You usually do agree with me. Thank you. See, but it's not about whether or not I'm right or wrong. It's whether or not your thought process has been sparked. But I thank you. But at the same time, though, when I look at the 144,000, I realized like 2 years ago, I didn't say anything, but I was like, these spiritual, the galactic folks, everywhere I go, it's 144,000, 144,000, 144, because that matches the Bible, that matches prophecy. You understand? But if you look at the reality of the numbers on the planet versus is 144,000 going to be enough? Oh, hell no. But they had to get 144,000 of us to believe that we needed 144,000. And by doing that, we have now reached the 144 million mark. Okay. I'm not saying it's hooey. I'm saying they had to leave off the last 3 digits to convince us that this was possible. Had they told us 144 million, I'd have dropped out. You know what I'm saying? I said, nah, I don't know. May I have a wrench since I don't know. Rainbow, I don't know how to do a wrench. Okay. That's beyond my comprehension right now. I swear it ain't got nothing to do with nothing, but I don't have a clue. I have looked, I get lost when I go through the instructions. I'll get there, but I don't know how to do it. But trust me, Ray, it ain't got nothing to do with you or anybody else. It's like, okay, if somebody wants a wrench, but it's like, oh. I'm so sorry. I'm learning. I'm still in a healing state, and and unfortunately, my brain was last on the list. It's like, fix my back, take away the other pain, give me my hands back, and take away the arthritis, which, by the way, is still doing really good. I don't know. It's like, my own testimonial about the galactic healing is like my hands. It's like I can do this. I mean, this knuckle, I cut it on a meat saw when I was in the Hillsborough County Jail for a year, and they had to do microsurgery on my knuckle. I haven't been able to bend my knuckle down that far since that surgery in 79. 1979. And so now I can bend this finger. It's like, wait a minute, it still hurts. It's still, right, Brian, Milky Way. They give us the secret for manifesting reality, and it's the 1%. That's how they have control now. And that's all it takes. Right. But And I agree with you, Brian, but to the consequence of how do we raise the vibration of the planet, we needed that 144 million. So they had to like, I've been in situations where you had to kind of like leave out part of the whole truth because it was like if you told the whole, it's not that you were withholding information. And it's like, but sometimes that little white lie is necessary. And because, like I say, if they had went out there and put 144 million of us, if they had put that statement out 10 years ago, 5 years ago, that that's what the necessary number was, people would have said the number's too big. The number's too big. And I mean, I would have been one of them then. But to the point, as we have grown in our standings, as our candle, as we each start putting our candle in the window, other people see, oh my God, they've got a candle in their window. That candle in the window also signals other people. It's they smile without having to um, jump up and down with a loudspeaker. You know, it's that, oh, they got a candle. It's like a secret thing. Oh, no, it's just a candle in the window. Yeah, but they keep putting a candle in that window every day or night or whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's the symbolism. And that shows solidarity amongst us without having to do anything. Here's my candle. I'm going to light my candle for today. Here's my candle. Can you see it from my window? I hope that you can. So I do these odd little videos when I do them. I think it's to make sure just it's sort of like I'm still here, you're still here, we are still here. The awareness is increasing. Other people are and some of us are like the fighting's increased. It's like the negatives attached to some of these folks, and instead of them crossing more into the light, it's like, they went in, they the darkness pulled them further in. And wow, that was like an unintended consequence, if you will. But to that point, it's like we have to be patient. That of all the things that keeps getting repeated to me, and it's like, well, yeah, but I keep talking to everybody about it, being patient. Yeah, but then the energies and all the vibrations, hang in there, stay on your raft. I've talked about the wave thing. I haven't mentioned it in a while, but we are definitely into the wave thing. And Dutch Sense put up a thing yesterday or the day before where they do the waves coming in and what a standing wave show looks like as an explanation for why tsunamis and different waves and so forth, anything. And they use water as an example. And it's amazing when the waves hit not just water, but all waves. And it turns into a standing wave. So we get this fluctuation, boom, 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 boom. And when you watch the Schumann resonance, this is what's been happening. So, with that said, remember, we all must keep our candles burning and keep our patience about us, because that is the hardest thing. So, no other folks got to do stuff. We are the 144 of the enlightened ones, here to raise the earth's vibration and bring heaven to earth. Heaven's already on earth. We just need to get rid of the hell. This was a paradise till they messed it up. But, we had a part in it. If you still drink it out of a plastic bottle, you're part of the pollution and not the solution. So that's my dig for that. But anyway, I love you all. I'm going to get off here now because other folks got stuff planned for this evening. I will come back on Rainbow later on. I would love to do another live show with you. So I'm going to get off here and just say, greetings at the end. But blessings, blessings, blessings to all of you. And just remember, however we think, whether it's 144,000 or a million or a trillion, that isn't the point. The point is we're all looking for the same thing. We're all on the same road to that enlightenment. We're all working together to get there. So regardless of the numbers, it's nice to know there are a bunch of us. That's why you need to put the candle in the window so other people can see the light coming from you, and that will inspire them. So inspire other people. Keep your candle lit. Joke from Stargate used candles just like Spock. Yes, I know. I was what, and the other that was Stargate, but you know the other one, Rainbow. By the way, I was watching, and it was in Enterprise, the early Enterprise, and oh God, what was her name? The Vulcan girl. Anyway, he walked in and said, "You know, you're burning a candle. That's against Starfleet regulations." It was like, yeah, but I turned off the sensor in the room so it wouldn't go off. And I was like, okay. So even in Star Trek, they have candles for meditation. So wink, wink, nod, nod, and love them up for me to all of you. So be safe, stay safe. The Labor Day weekend's coming up, so be careful. Crazy folk are going to be out there. So I love you all. Bye bye for now. 3, 2.